Well, we do have confirmation from both sides, both Nebula, that's going to be on blue side, and Team Synergy, that is going to be on the red side. So let's get right into the draft and get this started for the first semifinals of the TBCS.
All right, and we're going to start heading into the draft. Let's see what we have for bans today. The most common bans we saw yesterday, Lance, Glaive. It's going to be interesting to see if we see things similar today. I mean, yes, there were some other heroes banned, but those two showed up as the #1 bans basically for both games. So, and Petal, I was going to say, Petal comes in a solid third, and we're already seeing the Petal out. And another quick, just straight to Ringo. It looks like, I know a lot of people have a very comfort Ringo pick in the lane, so it's kind of neat to see that's going to be the ban. So maybe they're really wanting to make sure that they have something solid in lane this game?
We're going to have to take a look at it as they do lock in the Sky. I mean, these picks are going by fast. First pick up for the first pick is going to be Sky. Next up is going to be Vox and Adagio. Taking a look at that, you have such a good synergy between Adagio and Vox, between that Resonant and also Verse of Judgment. The healing, the sustain that both of them can do between each other is phenomenal. But going on to the next picks, we're going to see a Finn pickup. Finn being one of the god tiers that are matching Lance and Arden. So we're gonna have to see what the last captain is for Team Synergy on the right-hand side for red side. And last, what pick are we going to see? 10 seconds left as it counts down. You'll be seeing Hover over Cruel.
That would be interesting. I mean, if we're saying yes, it looks like we are going to get the Cruel. So we're going to see a Crystal Power on the top there in lane, more than likely. So that's going to be interesting there. I'm really curious. Ooh, Koshka. So, all right, so we're going to see Adagio as a straight captain. We saw a lot of Adagio here and there, like you see him a lot in lane and stuff. So this is going to be really interesting to see who comes out on top on this. I'm already noticing on the team comps, get that Crucible. There's going to be a lot of things that can stun and silence. You're going to want to have those Crucibles and reflex blocks.
I mean, from the first match, when Ike's was on that Cruel, he was doing extraordinary work, and there wasn't much that they can do. Now, Quantum is going to have to watch out, being on that Koshka, that he doesn't get into the targeting aspect from the Mist being on that Sky. I have to say, right now, for Team Nebula is looking really, really strong going up against Synergy.
I have to agree. This is going to be really interesting. Synergy is going to, as you just said, you really want to avoid that from the Mist. I mean, it's really hard to burst down a Cruel that fast. He's got a good bit of sustain, probably going to be building bulk. I have a good feeling we're going to see a lot of that damage heading on Sky, and it looks like we're going to be heading out onto the fold, and looks like we may have a really early game fight.
And with that, Ike's is going to be targeting down the Kasha. Quantum taking a really big chunk of damage, but Spectral Smite, that is not going to be enough. Damage down. Is that going to be first kill? It is. Sky's going to be able to pick up that first kill. Ike's looking really low, but it's still going to be trying to see if he wants to go around. Yep, he's going to be taking just a little bit of the middle tree and taking that little bit of early game farm. And again, like I said, when you win fights like that, small little stuff, Nebula is gonna be able to take those wins in stride, just like what Ardent Esports does.
Yes, and taking a curious look at the starting builds, just to get a little bit of a compare and contrast, you're going to see the Sky just going pure crystal power. Kroll is building defense and boots early. And when we're looking at both realms, it looks like they're both kind of going for a little bit of sustain. You see the Iron Guard contract, but one has chosen to go for health first, and the other has chosen to make sure that they can take care of crystal power. Probably a smart idea to make sure that Koshka can't just get in and burst a little bit too quickly early game. And it's going to be interesting to see which side ends up coming out on top. Any interesting observations you're seeing so far in the match?
Right now, for Team Nebula, it's not a match at this current moment, but the overall team composition that Team Nebula has, that makes me very scared, because Ike's and Simpson II being on that Finn and Cruel are an extreme wall for Team Synergy to jump over right now to try to get to the Mist, because as soon as you reach that late game potential, you're gonna be in trouble. Doing a little bit of poking back and forth though.
Yes, this is going to be very interesting to see if they're going to be able to get through just a lot of health, a lot of defenses. Maybe seeing along something like, are we going to have a breaking point to try to really build up that damage? Or are we going to see something like a bone saw coming out to try to get through some of this armor? Like, I'm definitely going to expect, like, if we don't see at least something to crack through this bulk, they're going to have a really hard time this game.
Ike's might be the first kill for the side of Team Synergy, trying to see what he can do. That is going to be a full Spectral Smite. He's not going to be able to waste it, though. Quantum taking a lot of damage, though. We're going to see if Dukum can actually come down from the side of Team Synergy. They're going to just do a little bit of poking right now. Horde Barrage from the Mist actually does just push them away. Each team is not going to fight, and that would have been actually a very bad fight for Team Synergy to take it. They made their chances and just called it, hey guys, we need to back off, and they made the right call.
Yes, and it looks like right now we're going to be seeing maybe a slight push in lane. We got a good wave coming right now, and it looks like they want to put a little more pressure here on the turrets. All right, I was about to say, is Vantino going to get caught out there? No, makes sure is able to back off. It looks like there's going to be a lot of solid poking here. It'll be interesting to see if anyone tries to dive in, or we see the Koshka rotating in here, if there's going to be a fight or not. Looks like the three of them are all going to be heading down into the jungle.
But right now, I mean, both sides are being really passive. Koshka is just doing what she needs to, and we might see a fight, just a little bit of extra farm. Ike's setting his sights right onto Quantum, trying to see what they can do. Large amounts of damage. There it goes. That is going to be a cruel damage, though. Horde Barrage trying to see what they can do. Damage is down on Quantum, so nothing can do, but they're going to set their sights onto Fate, and they're going to pick up a double kill for Vox and getting a little bit of gold onto Dokram, which that is going to be your carry. Quantum is just going to be kind of that front line, bursty, get in, get out. But right now, Dukum is where you're going to want to put your damage, give the kills over to, and give the most gold.
Yes, and we see now we got a little bit of pressure here. Wondering, it looks like the Mist is going to get in there. Are we going to see another fight? There we go.
And with that, we're seeing a large amount of damage going right onto Mist, but it's not going to be able to kill him in just enough. We see Dukum just going to recall and get away from the side, but at the same time, Ike's being overly aggressive, trying to see what they can do. But the thing is, like we talked about yesterday, you can't be aggressive. You have to be aggressive against this early game cruel. You have to be aggressive to, and if you're not aggressive to him in the early game, he's going to take his early game advantage and run with it all the way to the bank into that late game where he can flourish. And right now it is hard for Quantum to actually be aggressive to him because he's just always in Quantum's jungle.
Yeah, but it looks like they're at least trying to make the attempt. You can see they've got some vision over there, looking like maybe they're going to try to see if they can catch Krull, just, you know, not prepared, in a strange position, and it looks like they're trying to do that right now.
And with that, Ike's is actually going to be focused down. He's going to pop his boots just to get away, Ike's trying to see what he can do. Does look like Nebula might be in a position to actually start a fight, but they're going to actually just take their... Oh, and the Mist taking lots of damage. Fortified health. That is going to be enough damage right on Quantum, just being under that turret, taking one too many turret shots to the face, and end up facing the wrath of the Mist.
Yeah, that is incredibly unfortunate too. I mean, the Mist was so low, but just not quite enough to get through. Taking a look at builds as well, we already see a Fountain ready on Vantino's side. Okay, a Fountain on the other side as well. Although it looks like the Adagio is getting a little more built, definitely getting a lot more vision for Team Synergy. And as you can see, they're already placing it down as well. I think they're really looking to make sure they can always catch them out of position, and it looks like they're going to be getting into a fight right here.
With that, a fight going out, Frenzy Cat does go down onto the Mist. That is going to be enough damage, and now they're going to turn their sights right onto Ike's, trying to see he's not going to get away. That is going to be a double kill for Dukram as he does go into the jungle. They're going to want to get that ace from Hell's Heart. Does land onto Koshka, and we're going to see Ike's trying to do as much damage as he can. Crystal Miner does come down, able to pick up that last kill. Not going to be an ace. He was able to actually delay that just enough, but that is still going to be an extra 3 kills for the side of Team Synergy. And I want to mention the vision right now from Team Synergy and no vision from Team Nebula.
Yes, and this vision is going to help them know right now they are safe to take this gold miner. They're going to get this really easily and get themselves not only an advantage in the kills, ooh, maybe a little bit contested. Okay, maybe a fight. All right, just going to back off there. Just going to back off. Don't want to dive in that. Don't want to get any more deaths. Yeah, this right now, Team Synergy is definitely getting the early lead on kills, early gold lead now. This is a really solid start on their end.
You are correct with that. I mean, just we saw this. They started putting placements down. Valanto is doing a great job by putting down those mines, keeping vision up at all times. But we need to see more of that coming from Simpson because he's a big, slow-moving wall. That's really what he is going to be used for, is just getting a little bit of vision. But Force Accord is available if they do want to go onto it. Finn is a level 6, trying to see what they can do. That is going to be a miss and a swing from Force Accord. Oh my lord, from Hell's Heart does land on to Decima and trying to see what they can do. Ike's taking a lot of damage, but that is going to be a Spectral Smite. Shut down gold right onto it. Ike's trying to see how much damage he can handle. Lots of damage, but he's able to get away just in the nick of time too.
Yes, it's looking like Ike's is definitely taking a priority in his build for defense. We already see the Shiver Steel for a lot extra health. We already see some other defensive stuff over, trying to get a lot more attack power first. So he's going to be a little bit bulkier. I'm wondering if his general plans are to just make sure I don't die too much before that late game. I think it's like he's trying to counter to try to make sure that if you do get in there, even for that early game aggression, you might not be able to kill me even if you try.
Right now, I do have to say, right, if Nebula reaches the late game, it is going to be game over for Synergy. Synergy has that early game composition. Now, Synergy may come back in the later game due to Adagio and Vox, but right now, the Mist and also overall Team Nebula, if they could just do it. But here comes a Frenzied Captive, actually going to lock up the Mist. That is going to be another kill from Vox going onto the Mist. We're going to see lots of damage, but that is not going to be able to secure it with the Spectral Smite, as Koshka Quantum is able to just scratch him to death. So that's going to be another 2 kills going in favor of Team Synergy. But like I was saying before, if Nebula does reach that late game potential and those power spikes, they'll be able to come back in. But right now, it's not looking like that, as they do take another gold miner first turret of the game.
Yes, and I mean, decent gold payout collected. The gold lead is starting to get at least to a significant point. You can see they are building a lot faster. They're already getting some stuff. You see the Atlas Pauldron coming out already from Vantino to make sure that Eeks has a little bit harder of a time. We do see a reflex block on the Mist and Stinson the second. I mean, they've got a lot of stuff that they need to try to be able to block here, and we don't see anything along the lines of a Crucible from Stinson, which is also interesting yet. So these guys are going to be able to really push, as you've said, that early game comp, see what they can do, see when they can get those stuns, because right now the other team does not have a really solid counter. They're going to be able to catch someone, and right now they're going to be able to sit here and push this turret.
Trying to see what they can do. Death from Above does go down. It's not going to be able to stun up or hit anyone, but Valanto and also Vox are just trying to see what they can do. Simpson taking a lot of damage as Quantum does go in. That is going to be loads of damage. Trying to see what they do. Force Accord right on the Vox. That is going to be a reflex block from Hell's Heart. Trying to see what they can do. Forward Barrage is going to be enough. Trying to see what they can do. Quantum is just trying to keep Simpson at bay. What is a fountain does come up, barely saving Simpson's life. And Vox is going to be the first one to go down. That is going to be Spectral Smite. But here comes the forward barrage, just trying to slow up Quantum, trying to see what they can do. Right now, Nebula is in the driver's seat, trying to see what they want to do. And just the miss. There we go. Is not going to be able to save it. Spectral Smite does go down and land. We're going to see 3, 2, 1. And that is not going to be in enough time, as the ace buff does not come out. And that's going to be avoiding the ace, but still 3 kills going in favor of Nebula.
Yeah, for all you players out there, sometimes just stalling as desperately as you can to make sure that ace doesn't come out is excellent. And I gotta give Quantum some credit. Trying to get that tree in on his side, that was pretty clever, but just not enough to be able to get someone rooted to escape.
I mean, we're seeing a replay of the very first game with Nebula facing off against Tops, where they're fighting for their life and getting by barely the skin of their teeth. very, very close fights, and it's back and forth fighting. It is brawl, knuckle, bear fighting in this fold.
Yes, and it's going to be all of the little things that get down to it. We already see Koshka kind of getting built up, but I mean, Eeks, that Cruel, definitely has a lot more items going for him, a lot more bulk and strength. And we're already seeing Sky in the lane too, really getting solidly built. Dekuma, though, breaking point as expected against these big bulky walls. That's going to become really in handy as long as they can keep him alive during the fights. Because it looks like right now, too, he looks like he's building into an Aegis, and we'll see if we can get late in that game. But right now, we got another team fight breaking out.
Force the Chord, Crucible is going to block the Force the Chord and trying to see what they can do. The Mist is going to put out a forward barrage. And there's just no openings for Synergy to go into it. From Hell's Heart does land onto Quantum, trying to see if there is going to be a stun from Simpson. Here comes the Burst of Judgment. It is going to go down. Forward barrage from Nebula is going to pick up the first kill onto Quantum. Volanto is going to be the second one. No, that is going to be loads of damage. That is going to be a crit coming out from Box. Trying to see what to do. There's a double kill. There's a triple kill.
That is an impressive ace coming out from Team Synergy. That is wonderful. They took a fight that looked like it was completely going out of their favor, managed to win it, get a triple kill, and it looks like they might be getting 2 turrets out of this. And as you know, you take objectives, you win games. And now they're going to be able to break past that choke point. It looks like they're already going to be starting on this gold miner. They are just absolutely taking advantage of this moment right now.
I mean, that last fight went so perfectly, and it drawed it out long enough for Team Synergy to build those stacks on that breaking point with the crit for Vox and just annihilate the whole team. Drop Mist, drop Ikes, and then drop Simpson. It was a perfect triple kill, and it lasted long enough to build those stacks.
Yes, and it looks like he's already working on that second Tyrant's monocle. He's already there. He's got his Aegis. He's got his reflex block now. So now he's going to have a chance to pour on even more damage potentially. I also see 2 Atlas Pauldrons. They're going to make sure that the other side cannot get a lot of fast attacks in. I only see the 1 Atlas Pauldron from Eeks currently, and if he's not going to be able to get in and catch one of these guys, it's not going to be able to come in as much handy.
I mean, right now, taking a look at it, he's not there for the damage. He's there to be the front wall for the Mist. But right now, the Mist is too far in front by his wall. He needs to be using the range to his advantage, using the forward barrage and Suri strikes to get away. Oh my lord, here comes the forward Force the Court does land. That is going to be a... Oh! And we're seeing the Frenzy Catnip does come out, is going to block it. Quantum trying to see what they can do, but a Burst of Judgment does come down and is reflex block. Both these teams are on point with their reflex blocks.
And look at that vision getting set down right now too. I mean, a little of it's going away now, but they have an idea where they are at all times. Team Synergy is always going to see whenever someone is slightly out of place, they're going to be able to dive in. They are definitely making sure that they are ready to keep this early game push going.
I do have to say, Nebula is not in a good position right now because if the Mist falls, that's it for them. That's their only damage. Taking a look at Ike's build, all he has is Shiver Steel. He has a little bit. There we go. Frenzy Catnip is going to land. Wait for it. Does silence up the Cruel. Lord Almighty still has the ult. Is going to stun it up. Trying to see what they can do. Box is going to become extremely low. Synergy is just not in a good position. That is still going to be about 3 stacks right onto it. Doesn't see what they can do. Quantum going to be throwing it in. But this is what I'm talking about. If you can protect the Mist in these fights, we have a chance for Nebula to come back every single time.
Yes, and that slow that the Mist is putting on. I mean, you already see the Frostburn and everything else. Oh, wow. Just quick. They're going to be trying to go for a risky crack and at least seeing if they can contest. And with all that bursty damage they have, it might not be impossible. Let's see if they can get in and get a fight going, or if they're even going to know to get there straight away. Oh, I mean, it looks like they're going to miss it.
It's not even going to be the bursty damage. It is going to be straight the damage coming from Vox. Frenzy Catnip is not going to be blocked, trying to see what they can do. Ice is going to be the first kill of Nebula, trying to see what they can do. The Mist is still alive, but that's a lot of crits going down. That is going to be over 600 crit. That is going to be the second team member of Nebula. That is going to be another triple kill
so we got the
Team Synergy. as
We
they
got
do
it.
go on to, I mean, this is going to be the first game. If they can push it quick enough, this is going to be the first game going in favor of Team Synergy. We're going to have to see if Nebula can make the next 2 games in their favor with a reverse sweep.
Yes, and let's see here. It looks like they're going to get those turrets down. They want to make sure the Kraken's coming in. It's just about full health and ready to just completely dominate at this point. I mean, I don't think we're going to see Eeks able to just totally stop that all by themselves. And we got a big fight here going.
And with that death from a butt does land, Ikes is already dead by that. The mist, gonna see what they can do. Look at the crits! That is amazing! And just, it looks like Synergy just wants that. Another triple kill as they do take the Vein Crystal for a ride and actually take the first game of the series of this best of 3 as they do fight for the finals in the TBCS. We're gonna take a quick break as we do go into the next game. So do stick around, ladies and gentlemen. Team Synergy takes the first game in this best of 3 here at the TBCS.